So I want to talk about IAM services next. So there are IAM roles, IAM. Identity Access Management is what IAM stands for, that you will be required to have to create this DeepRacer model. So before we create a model, use the AWS DeepRacer console setup to set up resources for your account. So these are the DeepRacer console. This AWS DeepRacer console creates the following IAM roles. So I want to go over the IAM roles just to, again, elaborate what they are, what they represent. And let's see, how do I erase this easily? Delete. Okay, let's go with delete. Okay, that works too. So, okay, so what we're going to be talking about is IAM roles for AWS DeepRacer. So I can make that bigger. Oh. Okay, this is fine. So the AWS DeepRacer console is set up to set up resources for your account. As we do this, the AWS DeepRacer console creates the following IAM roles. So here is the first role. It will create And the reason I go over this, even if some of the stuff is automatic, is just because, in my opinion, I think it helps to have a better understanding of what happens and why it happens. And the reason that can be a benefit is if something breaks, which we all know technology, it's not infallible. It can have a better idea of how to repair it. So, okay, there's the AWS, and it is all one word, AWS DeepRacer service role. And what it does is allows the DeepRacer to create required resources and call AWS services on your behalf. So all of these, if you'll notice, say call AWS services on your behalf. Yes, so all of them. So I'm not going to put that on there. I want to make that like on the bottom of this little concept map. But what this does right here, specific for this service role, is allows the AWS DeepRacer to create required resources. Let's see. So allows the service role allows, I'm going to abbreviate AWS DeepRacer to be AWS DR, create required resources. And let's see, so let's go on to the next one. And that is AWS DeepRacer SageMaker access role. AWS DeepRacer SageMaker access role. And let's see what that does, in addition to having access to the resources. SageMaker allows SageMaker to create required resources. Okay. So we'll put allows AWS SageMaker to create required resources. Moving on to the next one. So we have the DeepRacer Robo Maker. AWS DeepRacer Robo Maker Access Row. And what that does is allows the Robo Maker to create required resources. So it also allows AWS Robo Maker to create required resources. Let's see, we have Lambda access role, AWS Lambda access, AWS DeepRacer Lambda access role. And what that does is it allows Lambda function to call. That's all it does. It just allows Lambda functions to call AWS services on your behalf. So let's see. Services your behalf. And one more, the DeepRacer Cloud Formation Access role. AWS DeepRacer Cloud Formation Access role. And it allows CloudFormation to create and manage AWS stacks and resources on your behalf. CloudFormation to create, manage AWS stacks and resources on your behalf. Let's see. So the IAM, there's 5 IAM roles that are used for AWS DeepRacer. So one is the DeepRacer service role, and what it does, it allows AWS DeepRacer to create required resources and access AWS resources on your behalf, which is all of them. That's all of them say that. So let's go ahead and make that last box. Access AWS services on your behalf. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that line. So the other IAM role is the AWS DeepRacer SageMaker access role. It allows SageMaker to create required resources and access services on your behalf. The RoboMaker, it allows RoboMaker to create required resources and access services on your behalf. DeepRacer allows Lambda functions just to call services on your behalf. And then the And then the CloudFormation access role, it allows CloudFormation to create and manage AWS stacks and resources on your behalf. So let's note some of the commonalities between here. Get rid of that. And finish tying this in. Okay. So some of the commonalities is that you can see, and these are the official names for these IAM roles. AWS has a large library of defaulted IAM roles. You can customize your own, but there's a large library of that are available by default, including these names that you see here. And you can see it's pretty, in my personal opinion, doing the breakdown like this and mapping it out, it helps better cement the relationship that all of these different roles or IAM roles have together. So you can see each IAM role has a particular component or a particular function, and you can tailor the people that you have to a certain IAM role based off whatever their job is to create something in AWS. Maybe you want them to have access to, only 2 of those for the Lambda function and CloudFormation, and you don't, for whatever reason, you don't want them to have to access to the Ribbon Maker and SageMaker. You can customize that to whatever you need it to be. So you can see like the relationship, like the DeepRacer service role allows you to create the resources and access services on your behalf. So that is, an example of how IAM is used within AWS. Again, IAM, go ahead and put it on here. Oh, there's, I can resize. I knew how I could resize somehow. IAM is Identity Access Management. And basically the way that works is the access that a person can have within an AWS account for an organization is based off whatever the role is. And that role is determined by the administrator, the head administrator, the root user. So you can customize because you don't want everybody to have access to the same thing, ideally, depending on the size of the organization. So this will kind of provide a checks and balance and making sure that the concept of the least privilege, I think is what it was called, to only give them access to what they need, to not accidentally or maliciously, with malicious intent, create any problems. So that is the IAM roles that AWS DeepRacer utilizes. That's all I'm going to talk about in this video. And